All right, everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. Go ahead and let us know where you're chiming in from. What is your city and state or country? If you are chiming in outside of the United States, let us know where you're chiming in from. This is another edition of Wealthy Wednesday. We're going to go ahead and get this party started. Hello, everybody, to Real Vision Avant, and this is another edition of Wealthy Wednesday, where we have another one of our incredible Book Profits Club members sharing how they're impacting the world with their words. Now, I need you to understand, they're not just authors that we're bringing here on this show. These are speakers, coaches, educators, entrepreneurs. They're doing some tremendous things, and they're leveraging books to be able to impact the world. And so we love to bring them on this edition of Wealthy Wednesday because they're not just bringing wealth to your pockets, your bank account, but they're bringing wealth to your relationships, bringing wealth to your information, bringing wealth to your health and wellness, right? And so all areas of your life are we talking about wealth when we bring different speakers onto this platform. Well, listen, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our guest speaker of the day as I am so excited because this young lady is doing amazing things. So let's go ahead and introduce her. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dr. Dawn Menge. Let me tell you something. Dr. Menge has won over 90. Wait a minute. I'm not saying 19 like 1-9. I am saying 90 international literacy awards. She takes it to the next level and says, you know what? I'm not just going to do literacy awards, but I'm also going to get 120 Film Festival Awards as the published author of the Queen Vernita's educational series and Queen Giggles Kingdom, including the Special Recognition Champion Award from Conquering Disabilities with film, Best Written Word from Miracle Makers Film, Hollywood Dreams Film, International Author Boss Award from Power Conversations Magazine, Success Magazine's 2023 Women of Influence. Listen, y'all, it goes on and on. Her published works also include the 6 federal individual educational plan goals and the effectiveness of their implementation in preparing for transition. Dr. Dawn Menge has a PhD in education. She specializes in curriculum and instruction. She also holds a master's and a clear credential in moderate severe disabilities and a bachelor's degree in human development. Dr. Dawn Menge has been teaching students with severe cognitive delays for over 20 years and mentors and lectures graduate students. Dr. Dawn Menge is the mother of 3 and the grandmother of 6 beautiful children. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the incredible, the amazing, y'all, she's so busy, I don't even know how she does it all, Dr. Dawn Menge. Hello, Dr. Dawn, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for asking. Well, listen, I mean, I was getting tongue tied by all the stuff that you have done. And that was just, I actually know that that's just like a small percentage because you've got so many more accolades and things that you're doing. I mean, right now you happen to be at work and you're still out here impacting people in the multiple ways. Tell us a little bit of how Dr. Dawn became Dr. Dawn Menge today. Like, how did you get into this space? What has inspired you and given you passion to work with not just with children, but to create all of these books and then also go after all these amazing awards?
Well, actually, it just kind of evolved into this. I actually wanted to be a preschool teacher when I had little kids. I worked in a preschool for about 3 months and I did not like it. The students were there, the children were there for like 12 hours a day, and I didn't like that I had been a stay-at-home mom with my children. And so somebody mentioned there was an assistant's job and a severely handicapped classroom. So after several months, I applied and started. I had 2 wonderful teachers who taught me about transition, which is getting our students out in the community. And they were very patient teaching me how to work with my students. When I was getting my AS in business, my mom was a kindergarten teacher. And I took my little girls and volunteered in a classroom and earned college credit doing that. And so she taught me how to be a teacher. Made me work, but I am thankful for that. And so she got me kind of going on the teaching. And then I had two wonderful mentors. And so I worked in an elementary school for a couple of years, worked on my bachelor's. Then I was able to take the students that I had and became a teacher at the middle school, and they came with me. I happened to be lucky and get two amazing assistants who, if I said, I want to try this, they would help me do it. They love being in the community. So we had a little business. And then we moved to the high school together with 9 of my students. We all got to grow to the high school together. And we had a snow ski program. They earned money to go swimming with the dolphins in San Diego. We went to plays. They went to the we went to the beach. We went everywhere we could. We had an amazing time. And then we all transitioned to an adult center, which was in a storefront. My students worked in the community. They went to college. They had their business. We had the snow skis, and we just had an amazing time. And then they actually graduated with my youngest child. So I got to walk through the graduation with my son right in front of me, which embarrassed him just a little bit. They were really great about me being on campus with them. But then I moved to another site because I worked for San Bernardino County Schools. So I worked for anywhere in the entire San Bernardino County. And then I've been in this classroom for 12 years now. And during that time when I got divorced, I worked on my PhD. That was what my children were grown. I was like, what am I going to do now? So I started working on my PhD. And actually, my dissertation was written on my students, and they do something called workability. They go into the community, they earn money. Our staff goes with them and help trains them to work. They work in Walgreens and the grocery outlet right now. We do things for Mountain Hardware. I live in a small mountain community, and so they've been supporting my classroom for must be 14 years now. And so we do all of that. And how I started in my writing, I don't think I have it now, but one of my assignments getting my credential was to write a math book and a math game. So I wrote a calendar book. So we talked about the days of the weeks, the months of the years, the seasons, and I included my students in it. So I got a grant from Cal Poly, and we traveled around to the elementary schools and performed little skits. And then I would go back the next day and explain their behaviors, their disabilities, answer any questions that the children might have. And so when I was getting divorced, I decided to publish the book. And so I named it after my grandmother, who was an astute businesswoman. She her and her father founded a credit union. And she was the matriarch of our family. She was a world traveler. And then everybody in that book, because there's 12 months, so I had 12 people, were my children, my nieces and nephews, people in my family. And that's actually all I was doing. Was I just wanted to publish it. Most teachers want to write a book, so that's what I did. And then I immediately got first place in the Evie Awards, which is out of Colorado. And people were asking me, well, what's your next book? Well, I hadn't thought about it. And I love to travel. So we decided that Queen Vernita, which is actually me, my traveling, she goes around her kingdom to the different areas and learns about all of her subjects. And so my books are filled with educational facts for whatever area I'm in. I've done New Orleans. And we went on a train ride from Williams, Arizona to the Grand Canyon, and then we went on the Polar Express. And this is actually my grandson. He fell asleep in Santa's lap. So every one of my books is a real person, and it's been a real place that I've been to. I have 2 on Kona, Hawaii. As you can tell, I'm in class. It's very noisy. But what I did with my books is I included some disabilities. So this is a little girl. Her name is Ireland, and she has Rett syndrome. So she's in Kona, Hawaii, and she's going to school. And so she is making lays with her mom for all of her classmates. So the queen is here, and they're explaining what Rett syndrome is and how it affects her muscles and why her mom has to help her. But the one thing that I really emphasize with adding disabilities into my books is that the children are living their lives just like everyone else, and they just need a little bit of help. But they have friends, they have hobbies, they have interests, just like everyone else. And so it kind of explains to the children without inundating them with a disability. So this child is still just part of everything. And this one is Connor. Connor has autism, and Connor was actually one of my students, and he uses a communication device to talk to people because he's nonverbal. So Connor and his dad, this is his dad, they're in Kona, Hawaii. They're at the Volcanic National Park with the Queen. So Connor is helping the Queen learn how to use his communication device and why he uses it. And there's a little bit of information about autism, not too much, just 7 facts. And then, of course, about volcanoes. But this is showing the students or the children, even the adults who are reading the books, that people who have disabilities, they're just living their lives just like all of us. They just need a little bit of help. And then you need to be aware of what help it is that they need so that when you're speaking to them, you know what it is that they need. And this also helps with the children who are on campuses and someone is using a communication device. It could be a phone, an iPad. So they're not thinking, well, why do they get to have their iPad? Why do they get to play games at school? No, they're using it to communicate. And then they will attain to that and pay attention to what that child is trying to tell them with this communication device.
I love it. I love how you use your books. They're not just children's books, but they're real people and showing real things that are happening in this world, and so that people can relate. You know what I mean? Let me
Yeah.
ask you this, Dawn. When you made it, because you've written a lot, right? You've written a lot of books, and you continuously keep on going, and I believe that that's important. You know, I say which the purpose of one book is to write another book. Like keep on writing those books because as we grow in this space in this author world, we find more things that we could talk about, right? But how do you want to leverage those books? Like, is your goal for people to just buy the books, or are you wanting to work with children beyond that? I know you already do that in your day job, but what else do you do outside of the book space and, of course, your day job space?
Well, with my books, I do a lot of book signings, book events where we are working with children and promoting literacy. So I work with a magazine called Story Monster Magazine, and they're out of Tempe, Arizona. So I travel to Arizona a lot. She was one of the first people that I met, which I always encourage other authors to do, is to join professional organizations like the SCBWI, Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators. I went to their conferences, and it was amazing. Everybody was so nice, and they help you. They're there to help you. There's no competitions going on. It's just collaboration and helping everybody. So I do a lot of that. So through Story Monster magazines, I have become a judge, a literacy judge for children's books. I just finished one set. So I judge, they have 3 contests. I judge all their contests. So I get their books. I read them to my students. My students write book reports, and then they get to keep the book after I've judged it. What else do I also write book reviews. So I just got a box of books to review. The same thing. I read it to my students, and then they get to keep the books. So they're really benefiting from me participating in the activities that I do. When I go to Story Monster to an event, we just went to a Title I school we were in Tempe, Arizona. It was last month, and so we did a lot of work with that school district. And I went on stage and read my book. Had a wonderful time. I don't know. Let's see, what else do I do? I also, because I wanted to read, to make myself read, because you don't have time to actually sit down and read, I judge romance books. So when summer first starts, I have 4 or 5 romance books, sweet romance, that I read and judge. And I really enjoy doing that. So I can't think of what else I do right.
Honey, listen, the resume is deep. You're busy, busy, busy. I love it. Well, since we're talking about reading, could you bless us maybe with a couple of words from one of your books? We would love to see what you got. So, in how many books have you written so far?
I have 15 that are published, and I am working on 3 more right now because, it's always a great reason to go traveling.
Yes.
So I'm finishing up Italy, which is actually how I ended up getting part of your organization. Is I met some of your attendees there in Italy, and then so it's opening up a whole different area for me. So we're going to Ghana in December, and I'm really excited about that. I've never been to Africa, and I've always wanted to go. And I've been collecting books to take with us.
Oh,
So if there are any children's authors out there listening, contact me. I'm taking your books with me, taking lots of pictures. And then I'm working on Joshua Tree, which is a desert state park in California. And then I'm going to do Ireland. So I went to Ireland over Thanksgiving break, and I was part of the Every Woman TV. So I've written a couple of anthologies, and hers was one of them we wrote for the pandemic. And she has the Every Woman TV station, and then she has an awards, the Every Woman TV awards. So we went there, and I sponsored the educational part of it. But then I got a award for publishing, and my mom, who travels with me, got it also. And while we were there, they had a riot, which was not on my list, but it was interesting. Wow. So we got to go to the parliament and meet some of the people there, and it was really interesting. I'm looking forward to going back to Ireland. But so let's see. I also have a series called Dragon's Breath, and this is the newest one. It came out in the fall. It's Precious the Baby Dragon. So Dragon's Breath all of my books are based on my experiences, which is what I'm starting a writing program to help other people write about their experiences. A lot of people want to write books, but they don't know what to write about. What you write about is your experiences, yourself. They could be good experiences, bad experiences, but there's always someone out there you're going to connect with. And that's my goal. My goal isn't to make a lot of money off of my books, which of course would be really nice. But for me, because I'm an educator, it's literacy and spreading reading. And I donate a lot of my books to organizations, schools. But this is Precious the Baby Dragon. The first one was about a bad dragon, and she was hurting people over the king. And it's something that actually happened to me. I was stalked and for several years, and I was forced to sell my home. So I wrote it. This is how I kind of processed what had happened to me, and to turn it into something positive to help share with the world, to teach children how not to hurt other people when they're jealous or angry, and to understand that some people do things bad on purpose, and that you have to understand that and identify that, and those people cannot be in your life because they are purposely hurting you. So this is the second one in Queen Giggles and King Teddy Bear's Kingdom. It's called Precious the Baby Dragon. And so I will read the first page. Hurry and finish your breakfast, my queen. It is a beautiful day, and I want to walk along the beach this gorgeous morning before we begin ruling our magical kingdom of quails. What a marvelous idea, my king. I can hear the ocean roar and the birds singing their melodies. The queen finished, and breakfast immediately started dressing for their walk. So they went for a walk along the beach, and they found an egg, a dragon's egg. And the bad dragon had left her egg there for them to raise. And so they raised the baby dragon. And she was part of the kingdom, part of the school. But she couldn't figure out why she didn't get to fly, and she couldn't breathe fire like the other dragons. So it talks about how she learned how to do it. And then they will continue on their adventures. And what they're going to do is Queen Giggles and King Teddy Bear are going to go from kingdom to kingdom. And they are going to find, they're called thunders for Precious. So she's going to find a family. And then that's what they're going to do. It's a new series, and it's been read all over the world. And I just won. So I accidentally got into film festivals. There was a thing on Facebook, Conquering Disabilities with Film. And I entered several of my books. And I entered, this, we'll go back to this. This is my brother, my little brother. He's an astronomer. And we wrote this book together. So this is one of the ones I initially won for film festivals. So I went to one in Vegas, and I had a wonderful time, met some amazing people. And so that's how I started getting into the film festivals. And now I'm over 135 awards. I've actually lost count. But yesterday I won part of the Indie Filmmaker Hall of Fame Awards for Precious. And that film award is in Rome.
Honey, I just want to give you kudos. Congratulations on all of your success. How do our listeners, our viewers, how are they able to get in touch with you? Maybe to grab your books, maybe to have you come out to their location to connect with their children. Where do they need to go to connect with Dr. Dawn Menge?
I have a brand new website. It's called landofquailshouse.com. And all of my information is on there. And I will be starting to set up retreats. So you can come out and have a wonderful time and learn how to write a book just on your own.
Hey y'all, so look, sorry to interrupt this amazing interview, but we need to jump to some commercials. So let's go ahead and check out some of our commercials and we'll be right back. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Taria Vision Avant, and we help speakers, coaches, and network marketers who are authors or future authors learn how to leverage their books to generate over $10,000 plus per month, week, or day. Listen, if you're an author and you want to be plugged into an amazing community, I want to highly recommend you go check out Author All Stars. And for those of you who host conferences, podcasts, things of that nature, and you're looking for some dope people to interview, authorallstars.com. If you also want to find out about our amazing annual magazine, authorallstars.com. Go head over to the website once we are done with this interview. Check it out. Trust me, there's a lot to do there. You can also see all of the replays from our Wealthy Wednesdays there as well. So head over to, authorallstars.com. We'll see you guys over there. Deuces. We are proud to announce that this show is brought to you by BookLogix. BookLogix is a local printer in Georgia that can handle all types of your printing and publishing needs. Their services are a la carte, so whether you are a publishing company, a self-publishing author, or someone brand new to the world of book writing and publishing, they can assist you. I have been using BookLogix personally since 2012. They have printed every single one of my books. And what I love most about BookLogix is that I have someone that actually is like my representative, somebody that knows me, that knows my books, that I'm able to work with directly. I'm able to call in and get assistance. They even keep all of my books on file. I love the fact that all I have to do is send an email and say, hey, I need to get some copies of this, and I'm able to be invoiced so that I can get my books shipped. And they will ship the books to you or ship them to a fulfillment center of your choice. BookLogix is where you need to go. So go visit booklogix.com and we'll see you there. God bless. Well, listen, guys, this has been awesome. The show has been amazing, right? But I also want to encourage you. If you are a speaker, if you are a coach, and you want to join a community of authors or future authors, listen, I've got a free masterclass for you. In fact, let me go ahead and put that masterclass on the screen, baby, because this masterclass, what I promise you, is going to show you how to be able to have a book that's going to generate over $10,000 a month. Now, let me make a disclaimer. I am not a book publisher, but we do work with some amazing publishers. Hold on, I'm putting it on the screen. 1 second. We work with some amazing publishers, guys. And one thing I can tell you is that regardless if you go through a publisher or not, one of the biggest mistakes that authors make is they write a book to sell the book versus writing a book to sell. So as I get this together, Chad, I'm trying to pull this up. I want y'all to register for this free masterclass, 10kbook.com. This is going to show you guys how to be able to have a book that's going to help you to generate over $10,000 a month working 2 to 4 hours a day, but also how to leverage it to grow your speaking, coaching, even your business, whether it's a regular type of business where you're selling products and services, but specifically to our speakers and our coaches. So go to 10kbook.com. Let's get back to the show. All right, guys, we're back. So last and definitely not least, we have been blessed with Dr. Dawn Menge, and she has been sharing with us her books, all of the great things that she's doing. I'm going to go ahead. Let's bring her back on real quick. Hello. So real quick, you have just done a tremendous, job with your books and being able to help impact people with your words. Impacting the world with our words is so important. Film festivals. I mean, wow, who would ever thought you could take a children's book and it could be, recognized at film festivals? So exciting. And I'm definitely looking forward to learning more about the retreats that you have. Do you have any last imparting words that you want to share with maybe our viewers that have children who can relate to some of the challenges that you have expressed within your book? And then also maybe those who say, I want to, write a book so that I can be able to share my journey, my challenges. And if, even if it's a children's book or regular book, like what would you like to say to our viewers watching right now?
For the parents or the family members who have children who have disabilities, seek support. The school is your friend. Your teacher is your friend. The administration. If you're having a hard time at home, if something's going on, be sure and tell us. We're here to help you. We know where you can find some resources for you. We're not here to judge you. We're not going to. That is not what we do. We're here to help you. So definitely reach out to the support systems that you have. And for literacy, my books are based on rote learning, which is great for emergent readers, special ed readers. My books are used exclusively in a school where immigrants come, and they're adults, and they come and they learn how to work. It's in Washington, and they are learning, their whole families are learning to read by using my books. They're highly educational. And for me, if you want to write a book, you need to write it. Even if you only want to write it for yourself, you don't have to make a fortune off of it. All you have to do is do whatever it is you need to do with your life and what message you want to say to the world. And it's important to know what message you want to say so that you can pinpoint that. But there's going to be one person that you connect with, and that's going to change their life. And that is your purpose. It doesn't have to be a million people. It only has to be one.
Amen. I believe it. I believe everybody here in this world, I don't care what it is that you do for a living. I believe we should all leave legacy through a book. And so thank you so much. Make sure, guys, again, go to landofquailshouse.com. Landofquailshouse.com. Make sure that you go visit to connect with Dr. Dawn Menge. She is a part of the BPC family. And I pray that you also join us here with Book Profits Club. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Taria Visionavant, and that is another edition of Wealthy Wednesday. I hope to see you guys back next week for another show with another incredible author that is impacting the world with their words. Until then, God bless you, and I pray that your day is full of peace, prosperity, and happiness, and everything in between. Bye, you guys. 1 second. Let me get the closing, and we're out.